Well, happiness for me can be summed up in 2 words, Hannah. Girl power. And that's why we're going over to BBC iPlayer for a new rockumentary series called Girlbands Forever. And here's a clip.
What made you different from other girl bands?
Probably my gob.
Just the most electric feeling.
Young, rich, famous. The era of young women. Suddenly having a voice. But it was a small window.
You become a sisterhood. You can't survive that unless you do.
We battled the social media trolls together by being so successful that you cannot say no to us.
Well, of course, we had boy bands forever, didn't we? The Louis Theroux series. And now we've got girl bands forever. It probably wasn't going to be long before this happened. And this really looks at exactly what it says on the tin, girl bands, and the girl power that came with that. So you're talking sort of in the 90s. I suppose the Spice Girls were the originals, weren't they, really? They were the ones that really kind of shaped the playing field, I suppose, for everybody else that was coming through. We also had, you've got the Sugar Babes, Atomic Kitten, All Saints, and lots of these people are involved and spoken to throughout this. And they'll all be familiar. Well, some of them will be really familiar faces because some of them have been tabloid fodder for years, ever since they've been in these bands and kind of made a name for themselves, if you like. And some of them have been more successful independently or doing something quite different, reality shows, sidelines, separate from the girl bands. But I think what's really interesting, and we talk about this a lot, is obviously press get a bit of a bashing, lots of people get a bashing over this about the kind of the protection and how these kids, I suppose, are looked after when they go into the bands. And I think this is something that we seem to struggle to learn from, actually, with bands still coming through, youngsters still coming through, the level of protection around them being shoved into that limelight, that serious fame overnight, and what that means. So I think it's eye-opening. I'm not sure it tells you anything more than you probably already know about the reality of young bands and kind of making it, but it is still very interesting to see their journey. And of course, they're all older now, all older, wiser, making different decisions, and how they do it. It'd be interesting to see if one of these band members, I always think, became a manager or became a PR to actually know how you needed to protect some of these youngsters. I think that would be an interesting dynamic, because like you see football players becoming football managers, don't you? And being able to sort of understand the trade, so to speak. And I do feel like when we're not learning quickly enough, really, particularly when you watch this. But if you like these bands, you'll enjoy this. You will learn something. It is interesting. What do you think, Ian?
I really enjoyed it. I binged the whole lot straight away, and then it automatically went on to Boy Bands Forever, which I rewatched. So, yeah, it's fascinating because even though, let's say in the 60s, that we had sort of the Motown girl bands have been very successful, there was a reluctance to sign and promote girl bands, really, and especially black girl bands, as we learn from this. And although kind of girl power is a bit of a theme, as with the boy bands, often they're put together by old white men. And yeah, a lot of them were treated really badly, very controlling, like controlling what they eat. Even in the case of, you see All Saints, Melanie Blatt, saying that 2 of them fell pregnant and that they were being told to abort the babies. Astonishing. And you see her performing on stage with her big pregnant belly, and that it's quite shocking in a way. I mean, of course, it should be the most natural thing in the world, but it just shows you. It's all about image, of course, isn't it? And there are some sad stories as well. Of course, you've got Kerry Katona. You've got a couple of girls who left the girl bands, and then the bands suddenly had massive hits. You got Louise Redknapp. And they're all very eloquent and articulate, I must say. And of course, some of the singles are absolute corkers. Though I must admit, I still struggle to see the appeal of Atomic Kitten, but that's just me. But yeah, I mean, you're going to see all your favourite tracks, some absolute bangers, and some really good interviews, and great archive footage. So, and just hearing the backstory of kind of how they did sort of come from different musical backgrounds. Some from kind of church, or some from a more sort of underground garage band vibe. Some of them just purely put together, sometimes on a TV talent show. So I mean, if you like your rock and pop, you're just going to absolutely burn through this.